Hi, y'all. I'm Candace with Slusher Consulting. Today, I want to talk about caregiver education and different options and reasons. Let's just have a little quick discussion about caregiver education options for your agency. So, why would you even want to bother with that? It's an extra expense, it's extra work for somebody in the office to do, but there's some good reasons. So, one, your caregivers probably need some extra education. They came to you with whatever they already knew. They're going to learn as they're working like on the job training with their clients, right? Sometimes you start a caregiver off who may have minimal skills with the client needing minimal help, and then that client gets sicker and needs more help, and your caregiver will learn as they go, and that's wonderful, but that's also the long road and the long way to get there. So if there's ever opportunities to give your actual caregivers professional development, that's not something that traditionally or historically they've really been allowed. There's always been in services of some sort, but any sort of outside education you can give them to make them better at their job, to make them more confident, make them more marketable, even as a caregiver for your agency or in the future, is a benefit for them. So that kind of falls under caregiver benefits, education and training. Oftentimes, you will have clients when they interview your company ask, what kind of training do you give your caregivers, wanting to understand whether or not your caregivers have the support and the skills that they need to take care of their needs. And so there's confidence behind that. So you can certainly offer your clients some extra confidence by being able to say, we have a training program, and then explaining that to them. And it's also good for marketing. So, especially if you have a specialty program, dementia or Parkinson's or something neurological, any sort of additional education you can give, or even a certification to your caregivers, is going to be tremendous so that you can be out there marketing your specialty program and knowing that you're telling the truth, that my caregivers really have been trained in these things that we say we can do. Okay. So, when do you want to do caregiver training? Some people will actually use a training program as part of their orientation. And even though they may have gone through all the basic policies, they want everyone to have a baseline of a certain kind of education. And that's a great plan. So certainly you'd want to start from the beginning, but it also should be ongoing. So it shouldn't just be, here's one program and that's it, you've got it. Now you need to know, everything you need to know, right? And that's probably not true. Instead, you'd want to know ongoing. So for instance, 20 years ago, dementia and Alzheimer's were almost synonymous, right? A lot of people didn't even know the difference between Alzheimer's and dementia. And now here we are 20 years later, and we know of many, many different types of dementia. And so there's no reason to reduce all of that into just one thing. So your training actually needs to be ongoing as well as just at the beginning or anytime there's new information. So say you get a client with a diagnosis that you've never dealt with before. You're going to have to educate yourself on that so that you can train those caregivers. But if you can find specific training or education on whatever that disease process is, that's going to be a win for you and your caregivers and your clients. Okay. We're educating ourselves all the time in all kinds of areas. So just don't consider that it's a one and you're done kind of thing. Education needs to be ongoing. You may even want to set something up so that there's some sort of incentive to get so much training per year. Maybe you get a program that has 150 or 200 different topics, and so they can pick from these, and maybe they get a raise or they get a bonus if they've watched these. Some agencies will choose to pay their caregivers for all the training, and for some it will go under, again, another type of incentive like a bonus or a raise. Okay, how are we going to do that? Everything's done online now. It's 2024. So can you get a room full of caregivers together? You could probably get a few all together at a time. But for the most part, if you want to reach a large number of your staff, you're going to have to give them options that are right on their little phone, right? So that they can watch those videos while they're living life or doing something else. And hopefully that's going to be sufficient for them. You could also have them come into the office when they're not working, but that's going to be prohibitive for them for time and could be a little more costly for you if you have to pay them for that, like drive time or whatever. So just consider all the logistics about that. But you're going to want an online program for sure. There are a few different ones that I know of off the top of my head. I'm going to name them, understanding I'm not trying to exclude anyone. These are just some of the more popular, larger ones. Do your research. Look for the one that fits you best. Do a few different demonstrations And check with your EMR and see who they already integrate with. So I know that Care Academy is a big one, and there are lots of EMRs that already, EMR meaning your software system that you're using for scheduling. There's a lot of softwares that already integrate with Care Academy, and that's a great plan. But there's a lot of others too, right? You're just using the same one that's been around forever. When other people are sort of updating and reinventing, you're going to want to keep apprised of what's out there. There might be something better. So Telescope is a relatively new one. This is 2024, by the way. There's one called, I don't know, Jenny or Linda, something like that. Mission Care Collective has a few different options. They also own mycnajobs.com, and they have some different options. So look into those. Just do some research. Get on those Facebook groups and ask, hey, what caregiver training programs are you all using, and are you happy? And do some demonstrations and find out, is there a trial period? And also, is there what's the out? What if I don't like it? How do I get out? So make sure that you look at those things. What you're looking for, sort of what is the checklist for caregiver training programs, is going to be, you definitely want a variety of topics. Okay. There are some out there that are specialty for just dementia or specialty for just certain diagnoses. And that's fine, but that's not going to give you the broad range that's most likely going to cover all of your clients and their needs and your caregivers and their skills. So look for somebody who has, a company that has a lot of different topics that you can get a wide variety. And then accountability for your staff. Okay. So if you have to register them, if you have to register your caregivers for this program, and maybe you can assign them different videos, or do you give them a login? Basically, is there a way for you to go back and check? Did they watch this video? Did they take that test? Is there a certificate I can download? How can I see or know that they did what we asked them to do? So there needs to be an accountability factor, not just, hey, go and take these and then not know what happened, which is kind of what some agencies do, just YouTube videos. There's lots of educational YouTube videos out there, and that's fine. But how do you know they watched them, right? Are you testing them? Are you making sure that they actually obtained that knowledge? Okay. And then, of course, affordability. If you're a small mom and pop type of agency, is $600 a month going to be an option for you? Probably not. It needs to be reasonable. And that might be sometimes priced based on the number of caregivers that you register or the number of people you want to train. There's a few different ways to work that, but it does need to be affordable, because you'd hate to give that to your staff and then take it back away whenever, times are lean, right? So it needs to be something that can be long-term and sustainable for your agency in lots of different ways. Easy to use. Your office staff, or you, depending on who's doing it, needs to be able to monitor, maintain, upload whatever. And even better, if you have options to maybe upload or add some of your own training material, or put together courses within their courses or something, so that you have an option to customize your program a little bit. So I hope that this was helpful for you. Again, the first ones I'd look at would be Telescope, maybe Care Academy, and the Mission Care Collective organizations with My CNA Jobs. Those are the ones that I am aware of. I'm not promoting anything specifically or excluding anyone. If there's other good ones, please go ahead and comment on this video of what other good training programs you've used in the past, so that we can all have that information. Thank you so much for watching today. Have a good day.